Hello everyone, today is the day 14 of 100 days of code, and today in this video we will be discussing about the question find out the largest and the smallest word from the given string. Okay, so let's start from the int main. I'll be explaining what the question is. Suppose that the string given to us is a computer science portal. Okay, which is the largest and the smallest word from this sentence. This is the largest word, which is computer, and this is the smallest word, which is a. Okay, so what we will be doing is first we will be creating a string in which we will be storing this sentence, and then we will be creating two strings here to store the minimum word and the maximum word. Okay, and after that we are calling this function. This function will return the minimum word and the maximum word. Okay, and finally we'll be outputting the minimum length word is minimum word and the maximum length word is maximum word. Okay, so let's first run the program and see the output, then I'll be discussing how to mean what is happening in this code. Okay, minimum length word is a and the maximum length word is computer. Okay, so let's see the function here. Min max length words. Okay, so here what we are passing, we are passing a, which is the string a computer science portal, then we are passing the strings minimum word and the maximum word here. Okay, so let's see the definition of the function. Here we have defined the parameters as the string input. So a is coming in the input, so input will have the string a computer science portal, and we are using the pass by reference. Okay, so that the changes will be reflected back in the int main. Okay, in the min word and the max word. So we are using two pointers, si and ei. Okay, what is si and ei? Si is the starting index and ei is the ending index. Okay, and length will be the input dot length, means the length of this string. Okay, that will be stored in length. Okay, so in length the input length will be stored, and we are using two pointers, si to point the starting index and the ending index. Initially both are initialized as 0. Okay, and then what we are doing is int minimum length. Minimum length is initialized as the length of the string. So what we have to do is whenever we get a question to calculate the minimum and the maximum length, what we are supposed to do is we have to initialize the minimum length, in which we will store the minimum length as a large number. Okay, so in this case we are using len. Len is the length of the string, and while starting you have to initialize the maximum length as 0 or any negative number. Okay, that is done for the comparison purpose, and we'll look into that in the upcoming code. So here we have initialized the minimum starting index, which will store the minimum starting index of the minimum word and the maximum starting index of the minimum of the maximum word. These two indices will store the from where the minimum word is starting and from where the maximum word is starting. Those index values will be stored in this variable. Okay, and then what we are doing is we are running a while loop while the end index is less than or equal to length. Means we are starting from the array here, we are starting from here. When ei will reach at the end, till then we will run the while loop. And what we will be doing in the while loop, in the while loop we will be checking if ei is less than length. If it's equal to length, that means it's the last symbol, which is /0. Okay, so whenever is if less than length, then only we will be continuing with the if condition, and input should not be equal to space. If it's not space and if it's not the end of the character, that means it's a valid letter. Whenever it's a valid letter, we have to increment ei. For example, see here, it will be starting from here. When a is there, it's neither the last word nor the space. So what we'll be doing, we'll be incrementing ei. So ei will come here, so ei will become 1. Then we'll be comparing again. If it's a space, yes, it's a space, so we'll stop there, and what we will do is we'll subtract the length of ei and si. Okay, that will give us the length of the word. Ei is 1, si is 0, so the current length will be 1. So the word which we have got here has the length 1. That should be compared with the maximum length and the minimum length. Okay, if it's less than the minimum length, then the minimum length will become that length which we got now. Okay, else if it's greater than the maximum length, maximum length will become that. Okay, and the word will be stored by using substring function. Okay, before that we have to store the maximum and the minimum starting index in case we got the maximum word and the minimum word. Okay, in our case, in the first iteration, what happens is a will be stored as the minimum word as well as the maximum word. So in minimum index and the maximum start index, si will be stored as 0, because a is the minimum and maximum word as of now, and A is starting from 0 index, right? So A will be the minimum word and the maximum word, and those index will be stored in minimum starting index and maximum starting index. And after that, what we'll be doing is we'll be incrementing EI. So EI will point to the next letter, the starting of the next word, and SI should start from there only. What I mean is, after the first word comparison gets over, EI is starting from here and SI should also start from here. Then EI will go here, 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 till here it will go. Then we'll subtract the EI minus SI. SI will stay there only. Then we'll compare this length is greater than maximum length or this length is less than minimum length. If that's the case, any of the case is true. In our case, maximum length is true. So what we'll do, we'll initialize the minimum starting index, the maximum starting index as SI. So this is the maximum word which we got as of now. So maximum starting index should point to this point. Okay, SI will be equal to maximum starting index. Minimum is still this only. Okay, like that we will do till the last point. Till then we'll be having the minimum starting index and the maximum starting index. What does that denote? It denotes that I have the index values of those words which are the greatest and the smallest. Okay, I have the starting index of those words which are the greatest and the smallest from the string. By using those indexes, what I can do is I can use those indexes to print. I can use those indexes to form a substring from the starting index till what length I want. Means the starting index in our case is 0 here, and what is the length of this word? 1. So from 0 to 1, what will happen? It will form a substring that will be stored in minimum word, and the maximum starting index will start from the index 3, and it will go till the maximum length, and that substring will be stored in maximum word. So minimum word will have A and maximum word will have computer. Okay. After that, this will be the changes made in these two variables will be reflected in the int main, since we have passed by reference. Okay. Those things will be reflected, so we need not return anything. Those things will be automatically available here as well. So we'll be outputting the minimum word and the maximum word. Okay. And this was the day 14 of 100 days of code. And if you have any doubt, feel free to contact me. I'll be if I can reply to you, I'll be explaining to you. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.